I don't know. I mean, I hate the racing too, but it's on the schedule, and they keep adding more of them, it seems.
Kyle Larson back in the Freak Nation. He's got COVID-19. He just coughed over my shoulder. I'm joking. He doesn't have COVID. Settle down, Skipjacks. Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. To get on a serious note, you're, of course, a father of children. I would imagine you approach things like this a little different than when you were 17, 18 years old, just trying to find your way in racing. You look at this from a father's standpoint, which I'm sure means a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think, since having kids, it gives you a different perspective on life in general, but, it gives you perspective on what your children and families go through that we aren't, currently. So being here today, helping to raise money for the Phoenix Children's Hospital is great. NASCAR does a lot for all sorts of different foundations and things. So to be able to be here and help support and just help out any way possible, it definitely feels good.
Do you find that when you lend your name to a charity like this, you walk out of the room feeling better, or it's like, dang, should have done more?
I think there's both of that, for sure. I think, you're happy that you're able to do what you can, but then at the same point, you're like, there's got to be more that you can do to help either cure something or raise money to help for that, cause. So, but either way, I think, the families are very happy to have, somebody like myself here and just happy to know that they're getting support. So glad to be here and look forward to the luncheon here in a little bit. And like I said, hopefully we can raise a lot of money for them.
Do you sometimes feel like with your celebrity, though, there's so many charities that want to pull at you and say, hey, help us, that you have to just kind of say, I'm going to do this for the kids, and that's going to be my stance for the year?
I don't know. I think there's less of that than you think. Or at least in my case, I feel like I haven't been pulled or prodded to do things. This is obviously was set up through NASCAR and Phoenix Raceway. So with me being a new resident out here, I think I was fitting for it. So, but then again too, me being a father now, it makes me want to be a part of these events too. So. Seeing sick children is just, there's nothing worse than that either. So you feel terrible for them. But what I will say is anytime I've ever been around somebody who's got terminal illness or anything, your kid, they're always so happy. Like they're just so happy to be here and it that just really helps your mood and gives you perspective on like, you know what, I'm not having that crappy of a day today. So there's a lot to take away from events like this, and you can learn a lot off of the children.
Speaking of kids, I've seen you put your kids on top of your sprint car wing. I've seen them in, obviously, stock car victory lane. Are they gravitating towards anything in particular or something outside of the racetrack?
Well, they're kind of into a lot of different things, so but they do enjoy racing a lot. My daughter, she wants to do anything my son does, Owen, so like if he's playing football, she wants to play football. He plays baseball, so she wants to play baseball. He races, she wants to race. Anything that he's into, she's kind of a tomboy, so she wants to just do it all. But up until this year, Owen didn't really love racing himself. I think he liked going to the racetrack, but he didn't love racing. But this year he's been competitive, so he's now liking it and kind of focusing more on it and putting a little more effort into it, which is good. So. It's enjoyable. I honestly, though, I just want them to do whatever they want to do. I don't want to force them into anything, and so that's why we try to involve them in a lot of different activities.
So who would it be, Owen or Caitlin, your wife, saying, okay, we got to get past this round of 12 this year. You can't make mistakes in Charlotte. You can't let Talladega be that crazy race. How are you going to not let the round of 12 be your kryptonite in 23?
Yeah, I think, we were going to be fine last year and then just made that mistake at the Roval. So just try to hopefully get through Talladega okay, and then just not make mistakes, really. Just try to finish the races, finish in the top 10, and you'll be fine. So,
but that's easier said than done. You're in such a competitive field now, and anything can go wrong at any time in the car. Mentally, how do you prepare for that?
You try not to think about it, I guess. I don't know. I think you just try and think about the positives of your races before and moving forward. So you try not to think about well, shoot, I spun out here last time. I can't do that again. Because then you start having negative thoughts creep in your mind. You're going to have negative results. So that's what I was just trying to do, is be positive and think about, how I'm going to get the best finish possible, and hopefully it'll take care of itself.
That's been the story of you guys this year, because you've had some not so great finishes, but you guys are constantly just figuring out right away how to rebound. So who is that? Is that you? Is that Cliff? Is that Rick? Who is that's kind of saying, guys, picking you all right back up?
Well, I think it's everybody, but Cliff, I would say, is the leader of our team, and so he's the guy for sure that I think he's kind of like a coach, and coaches you along, not only just me, but pit crew, engineers, everybody, mechanics. So we haven't had, some races haven't gone how we wanted to, but through his leadership, we've been able to rebound from it really, really good. And even in the race, like if we start out a race bad, they all do a great job of keeping us in the game. And I think it takes everybody, not just Cliff, but it takes everybody on the team. But I think he is the leader, so he's the one who kind of, keeps the train moving.
You were talking about your kids. She was talking about your wife, Caitlin, and Caitlin put it out there after the Daytona race going, I hate this kind of racing. Justin Mark's wife did the same thing. You forget about the wives, the moms and dads of those drivers. What do you do about that situation? Do you talk to your wife saying, this is just what it is, babe, or maybe I should approach this a little differently?
I mean, there's nothing you can't do. So, I don't know. I mean, I hate the racing too, but it's on the schedule, and they keep adding more of them, it seems. So, it just is what it is. But you just hope that they continue to make the sport safer, which they have. The cars have come a long way the last couple of decades, and there's always just room to improve. So, I think, looking forward, I think they could look at, just paving the insides of the racetrack, because that wreck would have never happened if there wasn't the grass there. And really, what's the point of having grass back there? It's something you have to maintain all the time, and it causes accidents that shouldn't happen. So, but I think there's a lot to be proud of that he, was able to walk away from that wreck, with NASCAR. So, but either way, it's every sport's dangerous. I mean, obviously racing sprint cars is dangerous. I mean, anything you strap into can hurt you. So, you just try not to think about it.
Given what happened at Talladega and this race, are you part of a committee, or do you feel you're responsible to jump in and saying, these are some improvements in the car that I think should happen?
Well, I mean, both Priest and I, after the wreck at Talladega, we got to go look at the cars and all that. But, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know, what to do to the race cars. But I think I can look at the racetrack, and an easy fix is to repave the bottom. So, and that's so obvious that a lot of times you don't even have to say it. I'm sure NASCAR and the Speedway there have already, I wouldn't be surprised if they're paving it right now. So, I think they learn from everything. You hate to see anything be reactive. You'd rather be proactive, but at least they're doing something. So I'm sure more changes will become from the car itself and tracks moving forward.
But frankly, you're part of a generation that you see things happen much quicker than it did prior to you jumping in a Cup car. So it's nice to see you with a group that's been doing this for 23 years.
Yeah, no, I think they do. They are quicker to make changes nowadays, maybe. They have more resources probably to do it, more technology and data to help them come up with a solution and then implement it. So, that part of it's good. So safety is always a big topic in all of anything, really. Not just racing, but they work hard. They got a lot of smart people, so I'm sure they'll make the right changes.
Can you slow the cars down?
I don't think speed, I don't want to go slower, so I just want it to hurt less, and I don't want to see cars go upside down.